Welcome to the Fan Zone show of today, Thursday, the 25th of October, 2018. We're glad to be back here. So much to talk about today. We're going to talk about soccer, talk about EPL, talk about Champions League, talk about Europa League, talk about MLS, talk about everything that's happening so far in the whole world of soccer. There's so much to cover. It's a new season, it's a new start, and we're having here for this first time this season, Mr. Pajay next to me. Pajay, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I see that you don't wear new shirts.
Of course now. I go bend down boutique for now just for this.
This one is original straight from Stamford Bridge. It's not like some people's own nights from or cricket. But we also have here with us, of course, Tai, our lead host here, who's also doing some production work at the same time as well. So Tai, welcome. I see you're wearing your Lido shirt again here today.
Yes, I'm representing for the DC United. We are the playoff, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, Rooney has done well. Man.
Yes, the Rooney effect.
The Rooney effect
is on fire.
And
so
that guy can go all the way.
I'm excited. I'm really excited with the whole Rooney effect, So let's get it.
And there's just so much to talk about over the past couple of weeks. I mean, in the league, APL is just blown up. Champions League is just giving surprises. Europa League is looking tough. US MLS is looking fantastic. La Liga is looking like a league for the first time in 20 years.
Yes.
With surprises up and down the whole place. So we'll just start off with EPL. And so far, what do you think, Pajay, so far, what's happening so far in EPL? What's your view on the competition, how the teams are doing generally?
Well, I think, with surprisingly for me, a couple of the new teams that have new coaches seem to be getting their philosophy. It's not taking a long time for the philosophies to begin to show itself,
right? And
they're not falling far behind like you would expect when it's a new coaching system. Like Chelsea and Arsenal replaced coaches. Chelsea surprised me because I'm thinking with the kind of players we have, it might take a while to kind of get that philosophy going. But somehow, we're weathering the storm. And Arsenal, they won quite a number of games, even though they're making me angry the way they were shouting after that last game. As if,
well, I mean,
but
we'll talk
they
about
did
that.
We'll
talk about Arsenal.
And City is kind of silently doing the business because, everybody kind of knows what to expect from City. So I think the focus is a bit more on, like, what are the other teams going to do?
Right.
To try to catch up. So
right. I think it's interesting. We'll go through each of the teams, the top six, the top 5 plus 10.
Yeah.
Man United be number 10. And Tai, you also you're live on camera. So what do you think of the season so far?
Well, I mean, so far so good. There's a lot of surprises. There's a lot of non-surprises. If you look at the top 4, led by Man City, it's not a surprise. Liverpool being in the top 4, not a surprise. I will say though, Arsenal being in top 4, it's kind of a surprise for me. I didn't think they were going to climb that high, that quick. And then Jose being in, should we say top 10 or bottom 11?
Right now he's top 10, number 10 in the league.
Number 10 in the league. We'll give him credit. Top 10. Look at Pajay. It's not even smiling anymore. Don't worry.
It's okay.
I'm ready for you today.
But let's talk about Man United for a start.
Okay.
Let's just open up the whole discussion around Manchester United. What is Manchester United's biggest problem? Is it the players? Is it the coach? Is it the board? Is it a combination of everything? There's no argument to say the players are not good enough, that he needs to buy more players. But then they look at Spurs that don't have as good as players like Manchester United are still doing well. So what's going on, Pajay, with Manchester United?
I think it goes top down. I think it goes around. I think the board shares a big part of the blame.
What's the board's responsibility?
I think the board, because the way I've been a Chelsea and a Jose fan for a long time. Now, the way Jose does business is that at the end of the season, like around March or April, he will let you know the players he needs. Jose came second next to City last season. If you look at your competition, the way they are investing, you are also supposed to try to invest. So he gave them a list of what he wants, and they didn't even try to do anything until after the World Cup.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Before I go in on that, Pajay, don't get me started without Joe tonight what he wants.
Okay.
First of all, let me thank everybody that's joined so far. Justin Reed, I see you, BB. Thank you guys for joining, for watching. So we're going to talk about this really. Do you think the problem is the fact that he didn't get the players he wants? Do you think that's the biggest problem?
No. I'm saying, that's one factor. I'm
saying player doesn't want it.
He didn't get it. He told them he wants defenders. They didn't buy anything.
He got Bailly last year. Lindelof.
Yeah.
He spent the most money in the league since he's been at Man U.
No, Pep spent most in the league.
Since he's been at Man U.
When Pep has spent more, and you can see the effect. The point is this: when a coach does so well in the season, and coming second is no joke. When you do so well in the season, and he's saying, "This is what I need." Yes, I may have bought this player last season, but if I see that it's not quite working out, this is what we need to compete. So the board needs to make a decision. Yeah. And he did tell them it's going to be a long season, and they're saying
the only argument I can say, I understand that he wants more defenders to play, but the reality is with the same defenders last season, he had the second best defensive record in the league. And so far he hasn't really played City or he played Chelsea. Okay, he almost won away, but he hasn't done too badly. I think it's almost like he's creating a problem that's fulfilling itself.
Okay, let me say something about the defense. Okay, this is a Man U team that for most of last season used a right winger, Ashley Young, as his left back.
Okay, I can understand.
He's using what's his name? That South American guy. He's like 300 years old. Valencia.
But Valencia is a baller.
Huh?
Valencia is balling.
But now Luke Shaw is come back to
right. But the thing is, and Luke Shaw is just now. So the thing is, if you look at his full backs already, these are players who are not in their primes. Compare that to his competition. All the players in City are in their primes.
Okay, so
and playing in their position. So he's not using. Yeah.
You said compare. Why you keep comparing yourself to City?
Because City is the champion. You look at what they're doing and it's working.
So all the players that said they don't want to play for Mourinho, is that City's fault too?
People can have personal reasons as to why they don't want to play for someone, but if he's saying I want to buy this player and the player is willing to come, then why is the board not investing? And this is the same problem that Chelsea did with Conte and Mourinho. And
so I can agree with you that board is part to blame. I'll give you an example. For example, we found out this evening, Pajé, that the whole Manchester United, the best player in that team is De Gea. We know he's De Gea. He's the best keeper in the world. We know that for sure. His contract runs out in June. And yet, and now Juventus is coming for him. His contract runs out in June, and there's no word of any contract renewal. So, which means you can go on a free transfer in fact, he can start talking to Juventus in January.
Yeah,
how can that happen?
Well, players can choose to leave, for whatever reasons they have, right? I mean, if you see something is not right with the club, and it may very well be because of Jose, and it may not be.
Shouldn't the board have locked him up a year ago?
Is that the coach's issue?
For a
team that came second
for more money, try to keep the best player you have. Listen, let me tell you something, right? Okay. Everybody knows this is not a secret. First of all, before we move on, please thank you guys for joining. 4-Day, Nika George, I see you, Frank Martel, all the way from Cali. What's going on, bro? Please share, let everybody watch it. Before we proceed with this project, let me break it down for you. Yes, I'm not a Jose fan, and there's a lot of reasons why. A lot of people got on me social media this week, but they said, "Oh, I'm ungrateful because of what Jose Mourinho has done for Chelsea." That we have a replay somewhere. Some of these phones. It's not mine. Okay. No, I think it's your phone. Volume. Your volume on your phone is playing back. Alright, sorry about that. Typical
guy.
Jose fan. And obviously, we want to welcome Arsenal fans. Mr. Tuna Yellow, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. My condolences to you.
And you can tell he's an Arsenal fan because he came fourth out of everybody.
It grows on you after a while.
So back to what I was saying, right? There's a lot of the reason why people that got on my social media this week about me not being grateful for Mourinho. I cannot be grateful for Mourinho. There's a reason why Chelsea fans really booed him. What people don't understand is this. Mourinho he left Chelsea at 12th place position when he left. Around this time last year, he came back to Chelsea to play Chelsea and lied like Trump on Conte, saying he cheated when he never did. Fans never forgot that. They didn't forget about that. That's why we don't like him. We're never going to get over that. You don't come and bite the finger that feeds you, that fed you, that made you great, and then you're appointing 3 titles. Who cares?
Well, no, we do care because...
No, we don't.
Because not only did Chelsea make him great, he also made Chelsea great.
Yes. What he has done after he left Chelsea has tarnished what he did.
No, because the thing is that I think that people have like short-term memories and they don't pay attention to what is happening off-season before things start in the season. That's the same thing like when Mourinho won the league and he said, I need a left back. And they didn't buy Baba Rahman until after the league started. And you know this guy doesn't do his work like that. He buys all his players by July 1st. That's why they went for Lukaku, because they bought Lukaku on July 8th. There was no striker in the market. You think Lukaku was his first choice? But when the board does not do its due diligence, people forget about that. Now, when the effects start, when the effects start happening, then they want to blame the coach. He does shape out as a blame. I'm not saying. I'm not.
I can agree that the board has problems. I can give an example of the hair. Contracts up in June. This is the best keeper. Up anywhere in October, almost in November, and yet we're not here with a new contract with him. And Juventus is saying we're going to buy him for free transfer. So the board has its own issues.
Same way they got Pogba.
Right? Right? But Mourinho also has, with what you have, Tottenham didn't buy one player. I spent more on the bubble gum than Tottenham spent on the player.
Yeah.
Tottenham is 2 points off the lead. And if they beat City on Monday, they probably go second or third. So he has to maximize what he has on ground. I'm one of those people who said, look, Mourinho, you guys, Chelsea can't take it easy with this guy now. Allow the guy to breathe small now. They won't kill the guy. But he also has culpability.
Yeah. I mean, he has I think that he has a
Manchester
share.
United are 10th in the league. And if they don't win this game against Everton, dude, they could be 12th or 13th.
Yeah, but like I said again, people forget what happened in preseason. They are looking at the effects of what happened. A coach is as good as his players.
Okay.
So, Padilla, let me ask you a question, though. If you know what your needs are within a team, why are you going to buy players that you don't really need? I mean, if you really look at it, they are top heavy.
Yeah.
They are top heavy. You have all these strikers, attackers, and you still went after Sanchez.
The reason why they went after Sanchez and was Fred, because he was afraid that if Man City get Fred and Sanchez, or if Chelsea get Sanchez, there will be problems and we will be able to compete.
Right, because they thought they still had a chance to close the gap last season.
That's a misplaced priority. You know why I say it's a misplaced priority? Because personally, I think where they have problem is their central defense. Now it's not going after central defenders. I think if it has, with the style that it plays, it needs to fortify the defense first. It doesn't know how to use attacking players.
Brosiello, there's an argument that I want to ask you about. Is he outdated?
He is.
Yes.
It is, and that is one of the most glaring thing about the way he plays. Sometimes, if you want to build a team and you don't have those players that suit your system, use what you have. And let's say conceptually, it's not really a great offensive-minded coach. What happens to getting an offensive-minded assistant coach?
The reason I ask that is because when you look at Chelsea today, pass and move, quick, one-touch football.
Yeah, 4-3-3.
You look at the way Napoli played Liverpool. If anybody watched that game, look at the game on Wednesday against Napoli PSG. If not for that last-minute goal, PSG is done for the Champions League. One-touch pass, moving. Tottenham, same thing. One-touch pass, high pressure. Man City, same thing as well. United are still trying to play this. I'm not quite sure what they're trying to play.
Right now, they don't even have a system. They don't have a system. Everything is based.
Sorry, not to cut you off. I just want to read some comments real quick. Mika George saying, best sports show ever. Thank you, Mika George, a former guest here. Frank Martel from Cali says, United I think he meant to say, United has to cut him off at the knee, just as Chelsea did. The boardroom problem that carries into its own attitude and ability to command his players. Yinka George also says, Fisayo, official manager, Jose is not coming back to Chelsea, although Lindsay Williams said, thumbs up, good job, guys. So, let's go ahead.
But I want him to respond, because I think it's a question that...
As far as being outdated, okay, let's look at this. Okay, people will say that Klopp is better, right, than Jose. Would you say that?
No.
Klopp?
It depends.
Yes.
Okay, so Klopp is better?
I would, yeah.
Would you say that Conte was better?
Yes, I would.
Would you say that Pochettino was better?
No.
Would you say that Wenger was better?
Absolutely.
But he beat all of them last season, except Pep.
So,
With the same team, what did Pochettino win?
and I say it's better. I say it's better.
Listen, nobody's taking away anything from Mourinho.
Right.
The problem that we have right now, the dynamic of the games have changed. You know, it has changed so much. Now it's either you play counter attack or you play possession.
I think the simple question, Brasiello, is: would you have Jose back at Chelsea today instead of Sarri?
No.
No, because the kind of players are different for one, and you know, I don't buy the fact that, you know, each coach has their own philosophy. Pep will live and die by his philosophy. I've seen him lose horribly with the same philosophy. Yep. So each coach is not, everybody's not going to be like-minded. Everybody's not going to lie down and play the same way. Right. It's going to be boring. Right. You know, so one coach is going to say, okay, I'm going to approach my game defensively. One's going to say, like Chelsea right now, we have been lucky to be in third position because that attacking football also leaves us susceptible to counters, but somehow teams didn't take advantage, and we are working out the problems.
But there's nothing wrong with playing in your style. If you have the player that can play your style. We all know the problem with Man U is in the back. So why are you playing defensively?
He said that I need defenders and they didn't buy.
Listen.
But it's buying players that he doesn't need.
When Klopp needed a
one
defender,
player was. I believe Sanchez was an error. Listen, I agree with that on that one.
When Klopp needed a defender, right? The problem with Liverpool at some point was the fact they were leaking goals. 3, 4, 5 goals a game. He said, I need a defender. He went after Van Dijk with everything. Right? He didn't say, okay, I need a defender, but this striker is available. Maybe I should get him. Oh, Pogba is available. Let me go. He said, no. All I need is a defender. Give me this guy. They say it's too high, too much money for Van Dijk. He said, I don't care. Just give him that. And guess what? Van Dijk solved 50% of his problem. Jose Mourinho needed a player. First, before the first game, he went and got the highest player in the market, which was Pogba. Now you're saying Pogba is dead. You say Pogba is useless. You got Fred. Okay? He's got 3, 4 players.
At the time that Klopp got Van Dijk, he's resolved his defensive problem. At the time that Man U was buying Sanchez, they were second on the table. They wouldn't have, the players were not as, the defense was not as bad. He had one of the best defensive in the league at the point. So, and also Liverpool backed Klopp.
Yes.
That's why we're seeing the success.
When Liverpool backed Mourinho, the players that he wanted said they don't want to play for him.
But Manchester United have spent over £300 million on Jose Mourinho alone. That's, for me, that's backing. If you don't, how many Pochettino hasn't spent $1 on a new player.
But Spurs, Spurs does not have ambition.
Fair enough, and we'll talk about them in a minute. But overall, this is the Fan Zone show. Everybody, hope you're enjoying it so far. Overall, what the verdict is between the board, between Mourinho, and also the players themselves.
Some players.
And also, Lukaku, for me, I'm sorry, he's not a top 6 team player. I think Everton was absolutely fine with him. Would you take Lukaku at Chelsea?
Right now, yes, for sure.
Instead of Morata.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man.
For sure. Are you kidding me?
That's not.
I'll take Tammy Abraham. I'll take him back from Villa.
But there's something about Lukaku's style of play that maybe you're right. Maybe with Belgium, he actually plays that kind of role as well, a link-up role.
And he's doing well in Belgium.
No, so I can see the argument. But will United make top 4? You think?
This season I don't see it. I'm sorry.
Well, actually, I picked them in the beginning of the season, to be third. But right now, it doesn't look like
I did too.
It doesn't look like it at all.
How far would they go in Champions League?
Group stages.
Yeah. Honestly, I because there's something fundamentally wrong with that team.
Yeah.
You can't really put your hand on it. Now, when you're saying, we should consider some of the things that Jose have done in the past, but unfortunately, we live in a world where it's what you've done for me lately.
Yeah.
And then if we can give him credit for all the success that he's had, even managing some of these top, really, really problematic players, but we still give him credit. So at this point, that's why I don't point to Pogba. I think most of the players feel the same way. He's the only one that is bold enough to express it. So, there's something wrong with it.
Here's a question I want to ask. Sorry, right? If you take Mourinho out of that team and put any of the top 6 coaches, put Sarri on that team, put Pep, Pochettino, Klopp.
Top 4 easy. Top 4 easy.
Easy.
Easy. Top 4 easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for
top 4 easy.
For this segment. Again, look, you're watching the Afro Real Life Fan Zone show. We're talking about the league so far. We have some great guests here. Brasiello, we have Pajé, we have our co-host Tai here as well. And I hope you're enjoying the show so far. I see you, Yinka. I see Lindsay. Thanks for joining. I see BB. Please call in. The number is 202-681-0389 to contribute. I want to talk about Tottenham or some people call them Rottenham. That's not it. Some people call them Rottenham. Champions League so far, what the hell? What is going on with Tottenham?
I said it before and I'll say it again. I'll make it brief and be done with it. Pochettino is not as good as we
Is it really Pochettino?
Yes.
Or is it, again, the board with Daniel Levy and his lack of spending?
He didn't ask for any player. And when in the beginning of the year, when they asked him why they didn't need to buy, that he's the only one that didn't buy any players, so he doesn't need any player.
Are you sure he wasn't just saying that because of the board and trying
He
to
said
cover
it
the
publicly.
I mean, I can't believe I agree with Pajay on this. You know, I don't think Tottenham have any ambition. I think,
agree.
I think it's just the top 4 that they fight for. You know, if they make it to second, you know, it's just an overachievement.
So Brazil, if Tottenham have no ambition, Harry Kane is one of the constant leaders of the Premier League in goals.
Yeah.
How long will he stay at Tottenham?
How
How long should he stay at Tottenham?
That is very debatable. Yeah, it all depends on the players. Some players are blindly loyal, you know, and I think it falls into that category. If not, you know, I mean, if he happens to be my son, I would have told him, you know. I mean, even Chelsea right now would be a better fit for him.
Oh, I mean, I think Harry Kane at Chelsea would be devastating.
Yeah, you know,
You
you know what I
It
think.
would be devastating.
Yeah.
Because the way Sarri plays, because
yeah.
Napoli, where they play with Insigne, Callejon, and Mertens, that number 9 role is Mertens, and he basically is a hold-up player and just basically pings the ball to the left and the right. That's how they play. And
Well,
Harry Kane
I think if a
is
big check
fantastic.
comes, they'll probably sell him.
Yeah.
You know,
I think if Real Madrid comes, and
yeah,
the only team out
yeah.
there, he will go.
Yeah.
And I think if a team like Chelsea comes, he'll go.
They would never sell to us. Those guys.
Probably Real Madrid.
No,
Real-
yeah.
And we heard today on the news that Real Madrid offered Pochettino a second chance to come to Real Madrid as coach.
Is that who they need?
That's the news. That's
I don't
out
think Pochettino is that good. I was a big fan of Brendan Rodgers, and I think Brendan Rodgers is even better than Pochettino.
But pound for pound, no matter based on the amount of money invested, he's actually the best performing manager in terms of points per pound invested.
Yes,
in the
but
league.
what good is performance when you don't win?
Oh, true. I
You don't win
agree
anything.
with you.
So real quick, Lindsay says, "Nice shirt, Ty. Thank you. I'm representing for DC United with the playoff. Let's do this." She said every season we talk about Mourinho. She's done with him. Yinka George agrees. Says we have to be done with Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, well, one thing I just wanted to say about Pochettino and Spurs, I think he's coming out in public to say something that they probably agreed with in the back. Like, okay, they're building a new stadium, so you know, and they can't really maybe like the same thing that Chelsea was going through, where I think when Conte and Mourinho came in, there was kind of conversation about, you know, we have to expand the stadium. There's only so much we can spend, blah 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 blah. So I think he's bought into that, which is probably, that's just my opinion as to why he's not spending, and they agreed we're just going to go with this and see where it goes, because we have this expenditure, you know, and we'll just use our youth players or whatnot.
Yeah.
But like you said,
So let me ask
he
you
had a
guys
chance
the
to
same-
win.
I'm going to ask this question again, right? Because also before I ask that question, Uche, Suya Master, thank you for logging in. He says Ken is going to Madrid. If we put another coach at Spurs with Dele Alli, with Kane, with all these players they have, right? Do you think they will win something?
I think they still need another.
No.
They still need 1 or 2 players to take them.
No, because I agree with you, because if you really look at it, let's take Kane out. You know, any other player that they have, which of the top 4 or 5 teams can they start for?
Ericsson won't do
I think
badly.
Ericsson.
Ericsson, Ali, and
Ericsson.
their defense is actually not bad. Tottenham doesn't have a bad defense.
Trippier is not bad either.
Trippier is not bad. Oh, the guy from Belgium, Artwarden, or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
his name is,
yeah.
he's not
Alderweireld
bad.
is not bad,
Yeah, well, they have 2 really good goalkeepers. So if you start from the back, they have good goalkeepers, a World Cup winner, and they have good back 4, including Rose and Walker came from there. I mean, they have good back. The middle is okay, in the sense that okay, Ali is a good 10, but Son
And that is where I'm going. You know, yes, this players. Well, when we talk about top 6, yeah, they are. But I'm talking about Man City. Let's use Man City as an example,
let's use
or
reference-
even Chelsea.
We can
Even
use the reference
Chelsea.
point of the Barcelona versus Tottenham game at Wembley. I mean, they were completely blown away. I mean, Tottenham was playing at 100%, and Barcelona just basically swap. You know, it was.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
when they
you know,
play out of EPL, and this is why I said Pochettino is not that good. whenever Tottenham plays outside of EPL, they're crap, and that goes to the coaching. You take a different mentality to every game. Again, I didn't think Arsenal was going to do as well as they're doing right now, but the coach has raised their level, and he studied every opponent and played to that level. So that's a coach's job, not players. As a player, you come out to put your best performance day in, day out. But it's a coach to come up with a tactic and watch the opponent and study. They have all the tactics, they have the money.
There's a comment here from Lindsay. It says, Dan Levy is the problem. He did ask for Grealish from Villa, but Levy was being stingy. But the question to you, Lindsay, is who would Grealish have replaced on the team? I don't think he's going to replace anybody on the team. So I may have been a false dawn, but we'll never know. But Tottenham, top 4 this year? Okay.
Let me see.
Well, let's see how they do against.
I'll say yes.
You think so?
And it's a hard, quick yes, because that means it's either Arsenal or Chelsea have to drop out of the top 4 for them to be top 4, and I'm going to think Arsenal is going to drop out of that top 4.
I'm not so sure. I think they'll drop. I think Arsenal will make it in. I really think so. I said from day one that they'll make it in.
Well,
I really think they'll make it in. I really think so. But we'll discuss them in a minute. That's the next one. But
No. You know,
top 4
the first.
Tottenham.
No.
Are you?
Iffy. No. But wait is good. I mean, if Arsenal continues on this run now.
Okay. So speaking of Arsenal, how about you? You think they're going to make top 4?
Arsenal?
No, Tottenham.
No.
Okay. All right. Speaking of Arsenal, 11 straight wins in our competition.
Yes.
11 wins undefeated. I'm sorry. Of course, they won to the 1-0.
Yeah, 11 straight wins.
Danny Welbeck. Yeah, 11 straight
in all
wins.
competitions.
Yes, all competitions.
Which is good. I think it's good.
Well,
As an Arsenal fan,
as a gunner, I don't want to get overly excited.
He was about to break down.
No. I mean, honestly, you know, I don't want to get overly excited. As you can see from my pick that I didn't even have them in top 4.
Yeah.
You know, and if you really look at the quality of teams that they've played so far, I wouldn't until they start winning against the big teams. Then I'll get excited. You know, but right now. The good thing that Umari is doing is first thing that I actually give him credit for was when he benched Ozil. You know, and I think after that, somehow you will see there's more effort, there's more hunger in him.
But Brasiello, to make top 4, you don't have to beat all the big teams. Though.
I know that.
Right? If your goal is to make, if you want to win the league, I agree.
Beat all the teams that you can.
You have to have more wins than losses against the top 4. But to make the top 4, you don't have to beat all the big teams.
Well, you say right now the way we are, I'm a little bit happy, but as I said, I'm not excited. You know, until because I want to gauge them by those teams. I want to gauge their performance by those teams. For now. Let me just sit back.
I think your day of reckoning will be November 3rd against Liverpool at home.
Okay. So, Carl, do you think they're going to make top 4?
I think so.
Project.
I think Arsenal will. I think they will.
Yeah, because of Tottenham, they probably will. But then again, you know, I think what I agree with Brasiello's sentiment in the sense that yes, they are winning, but there's still, if you watch the games, there's still a few cracks that need to be mended. Because, take for instance the Leicester game. Leicester, with a better opposition, there were decisions that a better team would have made that would have split Arsenal open in that game. Because they had the same disease they had under Wenger. Everybody rushing up front, trying to score, and they leaving those rooms back there. 2-3 passes, bam, and you are facing the keeper. So, with teams unable to take advantage of those cracks, it kind of covers. You know, exonerates Arsenal a little bit because they can score. But what happens when you face a team that can also score and defend? And they don't have to be top 4 teams. They could be just those stubborn teams.
Right. But on the flip side, to that game against Leicester, last year we would have lost that game.
True. So, and the reason why I picked Tottenham top 4 instead of Arsenal is the fact that, one, Arsenal always have a way of having a good winning streak.
Until January. Until January.
To your point,
I think that
November, December, Arsenal are going to play Liverpool, Tottenham, Manchester United.
And they haven't had, and for some reason, almost every year, they always have this injury season where they have 2-3 top players out
Yeah.
in injury. They haven't had that yet. You know, and the only decent team they played this year was Chelsea, and they lost.
That was a close game, though, wasn't it?
I'm not saying it's a bad loss, but they lost at the end of the day. So I just think they're either gonna hit that spell where they have a bunch of bad losses, or they're gonna have a bunch of injuries to maybe Ozil or something else. Overall, I'm proud of what they're doing, but I just don't think they can sustain it to the end of the season.
To be interesting to see. I mean, Arsenal, I think they've done well. We'll see how it rolls out. I think the next game, is away at Palace. I expect them to win it. And they win that game, and Tottenham lose that game, they're clearly within top 4 solidly.
So I got to read this comment. So Mr. Tunde Montes is watching us on Facebook. He's a big Ghana
I know.
fan.
That's why Ghana.
He had to send me a message and said, Arsenal will win 3-1 versus Liverpool with an FOOL.
Okay,
I'll leave it at that. Anyway, Chelsea.
So let's go to Chelsea. Chelsea right now are third third equal based on goal difference. How does the team beat Barcelona? So far, how will you assess Chelsea's performance for the season?
I'm actually impressed. Honestly,
Are you surprised?
Very.
Why are you surprised?
You know,
Are you surprised at the way they play, or the fact that they actually?
No, actually, I'm surprised by the way they play. You know, I mean, it's like open field now. The players are allowed to express themselves, and there's no joy better than that for a soccer player if you're not restricted. So if you allow me to express myself, then when you tell me to defend, it's a small price to pay. You know, so and I think that is how they. I mean, everything is just flowing. You know, Chelsea game sometimes is boring. You know, before him. But now it's actually I watch more Chelsea games than Arsenal games.
I am not surprised at the way they're playing because last year Yinka George and I were falling over Napoli.
Okay.
Playing, and even today they still play the same way. So I'm not surprised about Sarri ball. I love it. If I wasn't a City fan, I would definitely have followed him because I love the way he plays. You know, pass and move the ball quickly, possession based, closing down. And the keeper Kepa is a ball playing goalkeeper. Fantastic. So looking at them, I'm surprised that they're actually third or second, and I really think they're going to come second this year.
And they're still undefeated in all competitions.
Right, I really think that they are going to be, in my opinion, Man City's greatest challenger this year.
To be honest,
If you ask the City players, and I think I told you this, right? When they asked City like, who's going to be the biggest competition, they didn't say Liverpool, they said Chelsea.
So you
Because of
think
the
they will
manner.
place higher than Liverpool?
I think so. I really think so.
as a Chelsea fan, I have to say this before Patrick go. I'm pleasantly surprised in a good way. Because if you look at I remember the last fan zone, my biggest complaint was the fact that we're moving the ball, but in our third half. Now we're actually moving up to the opponent's third half. And when we lose the ball, it's like that old Barcelona 5 second, 3 second count that you have to get. So I'm actually now seeing why he moved Kante up higher on the line, because as soon as we lose the ball,
He's back.
he's there. We're getting it back. And it's playing.
I
So
highly
I'm like,
recommend that Chelsea fans pay more attention to how Napoli play. If you're looking for the finished product, what your club is going to look like in a year or two, watch how Napoli play. Go and watch the Napoli versus Liverpool game. Liverpool didn't have one shot on goal. I'm not talking about not one shot on goal. It was 70% domination. They completely overwhelmed the Liverpool. Nothing happened.
Before I read comments,
It was complete and total pass and move. That's what you're looking at going forward.
The one thing I'll say about that is, as far as this season, my surprise is how quickly this this philosophy is being implemented and how we are seeing. Because I did not think that half of our players could try one-touch football.
Well, but here's the reality. I mean, Chelsea fans may not know this, but January you guys are going to probably go in and get probably another centre back like a Koulibaly. If I were you guys,
They're gonna Napoli is one
trust
thing that
me,
would
that
not sell.
Koulibaly is the most
I like Koulibaly.
is the most underrated
gonna sell.
centre back in probably world football.
Oh, I agree with you. I
That
like it.
I thought Arsenal was going to get him.
That dude,
And it's one of those things that
a baller.
But the thing is, if you bring Koulibaly, you have to bench somebody.
Luis,
Who are you
bench
gonna
Luis, quick.
For us.
Oh no.
Well,
Koulibaly,
But
he's fast, His one touch is the guy can ball.
But realistically, if you look at historically the way Napoli sells players, Napoli is not going to sell
They're
players
difficult.
unless you bring $500 million. I mean,
Well, it's better when you already have like
Exactly.
you have Ampadu, you have Kingston, you have KU that
Yeah.
is begging for play time.
exactly. I mean, because when we try to buy that guy that's at PSG now with the Cavani,
Cavani, yeah.
it was and then we try to even get Sarri from them. They have to buy one get one
Yeah,
extra.
yeah. It's. I mean, it's.
But
what-
Sarri is your best sign this year, though.
Yes,
I
and
mean,
No, the best signing in Brazil is Jorginho. Because without Jorginho in that team, you don't
The way
actually,
he uses him, I
you
agree.
don't achieve the goal of what you're doing right now. Jorginho is the space finder. He's the one who understands Sarri ball and starts off all the play going forward.
Right. I still think though that moving forward, like you said, if we have to look at the way Napoli plays and but some players have to leave for this process to be complete. I'm sorry, Willian got to go. Because if you look at what's holding us back, I told my friend Uche this. Chelsea is the one player back in the day we have 4 Brazilians who cannot dribble and pass the ball. So you need players who are not just hardworking but also intelligent. Because if you look at City or teams that move the ball, it's not just the hard work. It's been able to, So when we have a counter and the ball goes to Willian, I just feel like we've lost that chance. So we need players that can also
Some interesting
execute the philosophy.
Interesting comments coming in from Yinka George. He says that Arsenal are feeling so happy right now because just with one more week, they will be calling for Ozil to retire. He says that I disagree that it's Kovacic is the one who's making the play. I hear you, but when against Man United, did he play? Or he came in as a sub, right? Was it Barkley? Oh, no.
He came in. And Barkley subbed him.
Okay.
And there's a message for Oga Yellow here. Uche, Suya. He said, I agree with Oga Yellow. Players like Ali Eriksson are a little bit overrated. A team with a real championship ambition cannot really play or cannot rely on players like that all season.
Okay. So wrapping up Chelsea position this season. What do you guys think? Yeah, Brazil. What do you think of that?
I'll still say they're third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I picked them third at the beginning of the season and I'll stick with third.
I'll go third because it's still work in progress that needs improvement, and being that Liverpool has has more near perfection.
But what did you pick at the beginning of the season though?
Who did I pick?
Where do you have Chelsea at the beginning of the season? Don't act like you only have
I'm
speaking
alone.
I picked them fourth. I picked them fourth.
I didn't pick them in the top 4 at all.
Oh, really?
But what do you think they're going to do now?
I think they're going to go second.
We'll see.
Because they're playing better than they played last year, and Liverpool's not playing as well as they played last year. The only negative side is that they played 2 top 6 teams at home and they got only 2 points out of 6. That's the only thing. But don't stop them from getting better and going away and winning those games later on.
Liverpool. I can start. I picked Liverpool to win the league this year. And I still believe
I
they
did
have a
also.
coach.
I
And I
did
still
also.
believe they will still win the league. And like I said it before, I said it based on the fact that I think it's almost going to be impossible for City to repeat. Even though they're playing better, but I think they're going to get to a point where they're going to drop points here and there, and Liverpool will have an edge, or maybe even Chelsea. But so far, I like what I see from Liverpool again. The attacking is great, and the defense is even better. And Matip, all those guys are healthy now, so he has different options. Van Dijk is living up to the money. He's living up to the captain. I mean, to the leadership role on the team. And this guy that they got in the middle,
The
black guy.
Black guy, yeah.
Keita, I think is definitely help. Milner is playing lights out.
Yeah. I
The
don't know how
only
long you
per-
can continue doing
The only
that.
person that is short really is Salah. Because Mane is their best player right now. Period.
I had
And
them
that's who I picked as player of the
I
year,
had-
remember?
Yeah.
I had Liverpool as third. Here's the reality. Liverpool is playing the best they've ever played, ever, in the Premier League, and yet they're still second. And they are second by 10 goals behind Man City. And Man City had Kevin De Bruyne missing, and Man City has gone to Liverpool and got 1 point. Last season we were blown out. And they have Guardiola, who is a serial winner and knows how to repeat time and time again. Klopp doesn't know how to do that. And in the long course of history, I still think that Man City will win the league. The question would be, if they get to the semi-finals or finals of the Champions League, do they change or do they have to drop back? I still think they're going to win the league. I still think Liverpool will be third. And I had Man United at second.
I think
but Chelsea
that,
may
I think
So that was your initial peak.
Yeah, I had Man United. I thought Jose was going to
Do something.
but apparently he's.
I think one thing also to consider is the fact that I don't know if this is reasonable to consider that this was a World Cup year and teams, all these guys played a lot of football.
That's true. That's true.
So, well, we can say other teams have World Cup players too, but apples and oranges, some players are not going to affect certain teams the same way as it affects some other temes. So, maybe that's what's going to happen to Lukaku. Yeah. However, I mean, I
Personally, I don't think that will affect anything. Because soccer, if you really look at it, yeah, World Cup year, but there are certain games that they should have sat them for. Players love to play. In the middle of the season, they hardly train.
Yep.
I mean, they get their fitness from constant playing. So I don't think that will affect the game. Initially, I picked Liverpool, and I'm going to stick to it. And
Me too.
Just as Ty pointed out, I think it's very hard to repeat. I know Pep is he loves repeating. But unfortunately, this is EPL.
That's what he said last year with 100 points. Though.
Well, I mean,
That's what he said.
but his first year, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. You understand? I understand. I'm not taking anything away from Pep.
No. I'm not. I'm just saying based on the data I have seen, City actually playing better than they did last year. The Liverpool that people were shouting about last year that beat us 4-3, they went there and completely shut down the game. Okay. A completely different tactic from what
one thing you have to also
and
take credit for.
if Mahrez was a serious person, that would have been 3 points.
Yeah, but one thing you have to also realize is that City changed their game for Liverpool. That's just
Absolutely,
something.
and they should.
And
they should.
And one thing that I appreciate about Liverpool this season is that, yes, when you have somebody like Salah who was on fire, all of a sudden the guy is having certain issues, maybe from the village or something. They are finding ways to win. And they are somehow managing, it's like their game management, unlike before, like last season or 2 seasons ago, that
They would have lost some of those games. Some of those games.
But they're able to figure out a way, okay, we get this goal, which, we're not quite as explosive, but we're going to manage the game.
So,
And they're going to get better.
I have a message for Uche. Uche, I've invited you to come to the studio a couple times. You haven't showed up yet. Uche is saying that Pep is also overrated. We want you to come and explain yourself. I would say, Uche,
I couldn't.
yeah.
I agree to a degree. I agree with him.
Which
to a
you just
degree.
hear?
Whoa, Uche,
I mean, my
is
response
it
back to
kidding me?
Uche is that the best manager in the
Whoa,
world.
Paje, you said you agree.
I agree with Uche
How?
to a degree.
How
Yeah,
are
what did
Number one, when you go to Bayern Munich, you are not hired at Bayern Munich to win the Bundesliga.
Here's my question to you.
You are
Patrick.
who
Who
taken
has-
to Bayern Munich to win the Champions League.
Who has won the Champions League since that guy last time did it? How many coaches have they gone
Yeah,
through?
but he was hired specifically for Champions League because of his.
So
This is one of the reasons
More
why
of a failure
people
then.
always attack you, because now the same narrative they're using for Jose, now that you're defending, now you're using it.
Well, but
Jose pretty much picks the team that he wants to go to.
Here's the reality. Unfortunately for Pep, when he got there, the guy there already won 3, right? And to your point, it's difficult to win the Champions League back to back. Unlike Real Madrid did it. But in his contract, nobody said there he must win Champions League.
No. My
But
point-
even
my-
if
my-
it's
my-
the same argument, Jose failed because he went to Real Madrid.
Apart from that, from that time till today, Ancelotti has gone. And when Ancelotti is no slacker. The new guy that has gone, even the other guy, the old guy that came back, they went back there again.
Yeah.
They didn't even reach the semi-final. They got to the quarter-final. So we cannot use that.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but just like for instance,
I love this conversation. I love this conversation for a mere fact that when Chelsea won the Champions League, Jose was the coach, right? And he was fired because he wasn't performing.
Di Matteo was.
Di Matteo won it, but Jose was
No,
there.
Jose was the coach before he got fired.
Right.
So
Yes.
Matteo took over and used the same team to win the Champions
It was
League.
the Portuguese guy that got fired now. It wasn't Jose, it was the young guy. Villas Boas.
I want to respond to
No,
that.
no, no, no.
Frank Martelli
Because
says,
Villas
I
Boas-
agreed Pep was overrated before Real City. He didn't build Barca. That's wrong, actually. Think about it. Messi, Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta were all products of Barcelona B that came to him under Pep. So that's That's not correct. I mean, I like Guardiola because I like the way he plays. There's nobody on this table here. If they had a chance to have Guardiola as a coach, won't have him.
Oh, definitely.
That's absolutely not.
Definitely.
Right? For the style he plays and the way he plays. So to say he's overrated because he didn't win Champions League at Bayern Munich is...
No, I mean, there are different narratives for that. Just like, for instance, some people have said, oh, Mourinho is a pocketbook coach. Well, how is Pep going to win without spending all this money?
No, I know.
It goes back and forth.
Mourinho's not a... Mourinho
People have said
has
if he doesn't spend, he can't win.
Mourinho...
Yes, I've said it.
Mourinho's
If Pep doesn't
problem...
spend, Pep can't win.
Yeah, but Pep spent and produced results.
He didn't win the first season. He spent 500 million pounds.
First season.
Pep didn't spend at Barcelona, actually. He actually used the Barcelona big players to get to Barcelona.
No,
Right.
But Mourinho's problem is with mega teams like Man United and Real Madrid, he when he's supposed to be the top dog, he sometimes becomes the underdog and cannot perform. With the Chelsea that are still growing and the Portos and the Inter Milans where he's not supposed to perform, he steps up to the game.
Because
that's his problem.
Because he have an open book.
But they're both two brilliant managers who have different approaches to football.
Yeah.
And
Right.
at a certain point in time,
Today, pick one coach, Jose or Pep.
Oh, God. Wow.
No. I mean,
No.
Jose or Pep.
I mean, right now...
I know who Kyle will pick. I know who I would pick.
Yeah.
Who would you pick?
No, right now, I'll pick Pep.
Oh, Jesus
Right now.
Christ.
I'm not...
I'm gonna record.
so
this.
Uche says Pep failed in
but-
Bayern.
but-
Uche says Pep failed in Bayern. He has all the players and money. Man City is a cheat team.
But the thing is...
That's what we hear from haters and.
Yeah, but the thing
What's
is,
in the support?
they both have their ups.
I don't even think I'm Uche. You don't even know EPL team, for Christ's sake. I think he's a Real Madrid fan.
Yes.
That's why. That's
Yeah.
why. So Uche, are you going to keep your manager?
And I think to initially I have the same sentiment though that Pep, I wouldn't give him too much credit for what they did in Barcelona, because I think he inherited a very great team.
But the mistake see, people don't, every player that was in the Barcelona team, probably the best to ever play the game, what came from La Masia.
Not everybody.
The key ones, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, and Messi were all La Masia pros.
Yeah, but when they had that 1-3,
The only players he had maybe Pedro came from. So Pedro was even La Masia.
When they had those front three that was scoring 100 goals, it was Henry, that guy that came from Valencia, that 9, that
at the place in
But the
Man City team now.
But the engine,
New York,
the engine
yeah.
Villa. The engine that drove that was the midfield of Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets.
No, this is where my argument is. The team that they inherited are capable of winning Champions League. Period. I mean, I'm giving him credit now. I think the best job he's done in his soccer career is Man City.
No, I agree with you.
That is the best job.
He took a team
yes,
and completely changed.
He stripped them down and rebuilt. Even around some of the players. Now with Bayern Munich, my mentality was, if with the kind of players that they had at that time, and they were the defending champion, when he got there, I expected nothing less than him winning the championship again. When he didn't, I thought he underachieved. I thought he underachieved. Even till he left, he didn't win the Champions League. Now, I changed my mind a little bit, a whole lot, when it came to City. Because I thought that system will not work in EPL.
Right.
Oh boy, was I wrong?
Well, the last Liverpool game we played, I did some research and some interviews, and he said that what he had learned from his mistakes at Bayern, and even last season against Liverpool in the Champions League, was that when you're playing against those kind of teams that press high and want to take a ball, he's always trying to play expansive. But this time he said, look, we don't have to do that. We have to control and just keep the ball circulating within the defense and the midfield. And keep possession in that half of the field so they don't have the ball. And then counter towards the end of the game when they're tired. And it almost worked.
And I agree with Pochettino with what he said. And one thing I thought he definitely underachieved at Bayern Munich, no doubt. I give him credit for what he was able to continue and do at Barcelona. But when he went to Bayern Munich, after they won in Champions League, I thought he was going to, at least go to the final.
And they got the best striker in the world at that time, in addition.
Now, what I like about him the most is Pep is a genius as far as him being a student of the game. When he left Bayern Munich, he didn't take any coaching job. He went to New York, he stayed out of the game for a while, and studied from the outside. So when he came to City, I knew he wasn't going to win his first year. You know, because it takes a while for you to get a job because of the level and the pace of the game. And he admitted that it's fortunate. Like,
Yeah.
man, he didn't think EPL was this hard. But guess what? He studied for the second year. He made key changes in players, got rid of some players, benched some players, and you gotta respect that.
I'm not disrespecting that. I'm not taking, like you said. I think the bar was so high when you look at what he did at Barcelona, and when you set the bar that high, and you're now going to Bayern, which had some of this, high octane team, and it was not just the fact that he lost; it was the way he lost.
Right.
That was
right.
But
No, but
we have about 12 minutes.
I don't disagree with him. I think one of the things he's trying to figure out right now, which is what explains the Liverpool performance this season, was his style of play for the league kills it, dominates it, because it's about keeping the ball % of time and dominating. When it comes to knockout games, where you lose the ball once, they counter you score, it's always been his Achilles heel, unless you have a genius like Messi. So in Bayern Munich, that's what happened twice or three times. Is that they kept the ball, but once Madrid got the ball and countered 3-0. Atletico 2-0. Liverpool 3-0, 2-1. But this time around, I think you learned that, look, I don't have to always have control or keep control in my own half and don't give them the ball and then wait for the opportunity. So again, to your point, I think he's learning, which
And he's making
Napoli is doing.
We can't say that
which
about
I
it.
really believe, which I really believe
that's just the absolute
Sarri
truth.
will also do. I still believe that Chelsea will be the contender for us all the way. Why? They have Hazard. And if you give me a choice,
we need more.
if you give me a choice between Hazard and Salah, it's not even a question.
Yeah, but we need more.
So let's wrap up EPL because we're running out of time. We have about 10 minutes left before we wrap up.
But it's a good debate.
Go ahead, sorry.
It's a great debate.
Oh, it's a great debate. It's a great debate. We can even go on another 2 hours for this, but we're running low on time. Any surprises in EPL from anybody here before we leave EPL?
Wolves, though.
The Wolves are a good team. They're a good team.
How about Watford at the 7th?
Nah, but for me, Arsenal is a surprise.
Bournemouth at 6th.
I said
Arsenal.
Arsenal
I
is a
mean,
surprise.
because honestly, with the new coach and with some of the players, and honestly, even
Like
I was very generous when I picked them as 5th. You know, honestly, I was thinking maybe they would be somewhere around 7th. You know, somewhere around there, but. I mean, the way they are and the position that they are now, you know, is and I think it's very surprising to almost everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, especially our first 2 games, they were awful.
You know, Russ, the Europa League is going to be
And
interesting.
Nika Judge says Wolves.
Yeah,
Wolves.
Europa League is going to be interesting because you have Arsenal and Chelsea, and then Tottenham's probably going to drop in. Either PSG, Liverpool, or Napoli will drop in,
Yeah.
and then Man United may even drop in. What happens then?
Well, I'm still picking Arsenal
who
to
was
win
it?
it. And the main reason
Chelsea,
why I'm
of
picking
course.
Arsenal is not because I'm an Arsenal fan. It's just because of the coach history in Europa.
He's a champion.
You know, and I think that's what he's going for.
Okay. What about this Sunday is El Clasico, Barcelona Real Madrid.
Oh, yeah.
No Messi, no Cristiano.
No Cristiano.
I have to
That
say,
has not happened in what? 8 years, 9
11
years,
years,
11 years, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have to say, this is actually one of the
best-
The must-watch, yes.
Must watch El Clasico because I think over the last few years, El Clasico has been overhyped. The last El Clasico that I watched that I really, really enjoyed was when Bale scored that fantastic goal when they ran almost 7
yes.
You know, since then it's been kind of boring and overhyped. But this year, nobody knows what to expect. No Messi, no Ronaldo. Bale, half Bale because of the injuries. And I don't know. I think Marcelo. Marcelo is. Yeah.
Marcelo is injured.
Yeah.
Courtois is a
So,
snake.
and with the coach under fire, maybe fire right after the game, maybe in the locker rooms if Real Madrid lose.
Yeah.
And if Real Madrid lose that game, there's no way they're going to win the league. And I'm saying as a Real Madrid
The
fan.
question I have with Real Madrid is, did they really need Couture?
No.
No.
Then what happened?
He's a bad back. He
yes.
wanted to go. They think this is the opportunity to get him, and they got him. And I love what Chelsea did. Chelsea said, you know what? You really want to go that bad? Go.
Cool.
I have another guy that I'm going to spend world record money on, and he's going to do better, and we don't miss him.
Yeah.
And what's going to be the icing on the cake for me is if Madrid fires the coach and then Conte goes to Madrid then
Instead
Hazard
of the
signs a
bench.
new contract.
And
Because Couture
and,
was talking about Hazard also joining him.
and Conte could be sitting on the bench if a new coach comes in.
Courtois.
Oh, sorry, Couture. Sorry, because look at his record. He's lost 6 games already this year.
The guy will bench him. Like,
He should have been benched right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There
who
was a goal that cost last game that was 100% his fault inside his box.
so who wins it?
Yeah, so
Who wins that game? Real Madrid or Barcelona? What do you guys think?
I would be shocked if Barcelona lose, so I'll pick Barcelona.
I pick Barcelona also.
Yeah, I think because I saw that schedule
Yeah.
and I was planning to go to church this but when I saw the
So
schedule,
Madrid doesn't get a new coach then, and then Courtois is in trouble.
The
Yeah.
question should
Yeah,
be,
I
who do you
think
Madrid's gonna get?
I think Barca are more formidable without Messi than Real Madrid without Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, maybe Bill and Marcelo.
Juventus for Champions League. What do you guys think?
To win Champions League?
Yeah.
I think they'll make a lot of noise. So.
No.
You know, I
Out
actually, huh?
They're out in December.
No. Juventus?
No.
No. They're only qualified from the group. They have 9 points. Right?
What?
They're out in December. I'm telling you.
Oh, semi.
Semi-final.
Okay, I thought you said December.
No, semi-final.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the ABL Fan Zone. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Our last segment is the weekend's game of week 10. EPL games, Liverpool, Cardiff.
I think that's the score. The score is good. We don't even need to say
This would be a shocker if anything else happens. Burnley, Chelsea. Chelsea away.
Yeah, I mean
Chelsea.
Chelsea of course. You know.
Crystal Palace, Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm going with my Gunners. Right?
2-2.
No, that's not getting it.
Put down the Google.
Palace hasn't scored a goal at home.
Oh, they're home. Okay, sorry. 2-1 Arsenal.
Cardiff. United, Everton, Sunday. This is Wahala.
That will be a draw.
This is Wahala.
Yeah, that will be a draw.
Because if they lose this game, next game is against Juventus away, and then Bournemouth at home, and then Man City away.
I think United will squeak by, but barely. Maybe 2-1. But it's going to be a very scary win.
Okay.
I'm going with United. Everton hasn't shown me anything this year.
Okay.
With what they spend money on, they haven't shown me anything. It's easy. United.
Okay. Inka just said United too, and then last major game, Tottenham versus Man City on Monday at 4:00.
That's a Wembley Stadium. That's stadium that is too big for Tottenham.
They will chase Botaya.
City all the way.
It should be. Oh, it could be.
Imagine.
I'm going to go with wishful thinking and go for 1-1. Or 2-2.
Really?
A draw. I'm not, that's wishful thinking. Realistically, my head says City is going to win it, but my heart is looking for a draw.
Yeah, well, it's EPL. Anything can happen. I'm going to go for Man City. I'll give Tottenham 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah,
Spurs can't play in the big field, and that's where they are.
I know. I'm just going to give
City's
them.
just going to expand the ball. Have you seen, what's that left back they got? Mendy. Oh,
Mendy.
no. Is it Mendy?
Mendy. Yeah.
The left back, the black guy.
Mendy.
Yeah. If that guy go to the touchline and whoop the ball. Come on, man.
And the last time we played it was 3-1 at Wembley.
Hey, come on.
Wembley, and but
I even think Everton has a better chance against
So do you want to
City than-
adjust your scoreline?
I'll keep it 2-1. All you need is just 3 points.
That's it.
I think you have a big field that you get there. But anyway, before we go, obviously I'm wearing my MLS jersey, DC United. The Rooney effect has really
Yeah,
really
DC
come.
United fan here too.
Lazy. So DC United is finally in the playoff, and I know last show I said that I think they would make it, but they actually made it and even higher now. They're fifth instead of sixth.
Rooney effect.
You know, they were
Rooney
fighting for
effect,
field.
yeah.
Rooney effect is really, really huge. Zlatan effect on the West Coast on the other end, he personally has been doing well.
Personally,
But
yeah.
LA just bad. I'm sorry. That team is just horrible. They have a lot of old players. They're out of the playoff. They have a chance to make it.
And they play in the Western Conference. It's
Salt Lake is 49 points. LA Galaxy is 48 points. LA Galaxy has a game in hand. So they could make it. I hope
they could make it if they win this last game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to win it. I really, really, really hope they make it. I want them to be in because anytime I get to watch Latin, it's entertainment for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you never know what's
What's
gonna
gonna
happen.
happen,
They go
yeah.
bicycle and go from the corner flag.
Yeah, the lion.
So, you know, I still think either LAFC or Atlanta United will win it. Speaking of Atlanta United, it's official. They're going to lose their coach. He's a great guy.
He's going to Mexico.
He's going to Mexico.
Why didn't the US go for that guy?
He doesn't speak English.
So
I'm just telling you why. You asked him. Did I say no? He doesn't speak English well.
So how does he coach Atlanta United? To a point where they talk
He
from Eastern Conference.
doesn't speak English well.
So
I'm just telling you what is in MLS soccer
are you kidding me?
talking.
I think they could have.
Do I agree with it? Not necessarily, because I think he's the best coach in America. But US has this thing. For years, I've agreed with it. They want somebody that understands the
MLS
US
culture.
soccer culture and background from the academy up, right? And the only time they went against that was when they got the German guy, which I hate. Klinsmann. I never liked Klinsmann. I don't think he deserved the job.
I love him. I think he deserves it.
But they want to go back to that system of somebody that understands the whole thing, because if you look at the U.S. national team, I don't know if you watched the last 3-4 friendlies they've had. Most of those players are like 23 and younger. You know, they might have a few players that are like, you know, up there. So they really, really want to build this time. And I like what they're doing as far as building and developing those young guys. And now they're sending those young guys to Europe earlier and encouraging them to go earlier than before. So it's a good thing overall. Was that the best coach they could get? Yes. We're about to wrap up, but Yinka Judge is calling in, so let me call back, Yinka, call back. Sorry, I was talking too much. But anyway,
We can't block him.
Atlanta United, I think will win the league, but I could be wrong. Anything can happen in playoffs.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap for today. We hope you had a great time on the Fan Zone show. We will be back in a couple of weeks once all the debts are settled down. I think after Thanksgiving, we'll be back. By then, we should have a good idea of what the league looks like, because everybody that played everybody in the top 6 and move forward. It's been great. Tajay, thank you for coming on board.
Thanks for having
I
me.
love the youth.
Before you hang up, Yinka Judge just called back.
Okay.
Yinka Judge, what's up?
Hello.
Yeah, we hear you. What's going on?
You guys are about to end the show, so
Yeah.
I'm trying to get in just before.
Get it in.
Don't
Don't
worry.
worry. We'll do it just for you. We'll extend for a few minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Okay, just for a couple of minutes. First of all, I'm glad you got Paddy on there defending his uncle. He did a terrible job. But he has did an awesome job. It was good listening to him. Carl, as always, excellent. Ty, good stuff. I missed the part where you guys talked about Man City, and I mean, you guys got to give that man some credit for doing what he did, because he's been without the best player in the EPL, and he's still top of the league. So I guess I missed it because you guys started talking about Arsenal and all this other nonsense.
That's why I said block him.
My God, credit for what he's doing right now. That guy is
No,
a manager.
No, they to be fair with them, they did.
Like Jose, I mean, I know he backs Jose a lot. I actually like Jose, but I feel like Jose has lost a little bit of an edge where people have that fear factor of him. They don't fear Man United anymore. It's a game where he could be playing Burnley and Burnley believe they can beat United. That never used to happen. So that whole dynamic of United has actually changed. But I still feel like Jose is a good manager. He has to reinvent himself to be better now, and I think it's an adjustment for him. Anyways, it's a great show. I love you guys. You guys are doing a fantastic job, and keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for
sir.
calling.
Thank you.
All right.
Bronzy Yellow, I know you're a first time show.
This year.
This year. Thank you for coming again.
Oh, my pleasure.
Please be
my
back.
pleasure. Oh, definitely.
Because Arsenal is still finishing our top 4.
Him himself doesn't
Amen.
even believe in it.
And Ty,
Amen.
as usual, you're the man.
But
Thank
it's
you,
a
sir.
good feelings, though.
So until next time, 2 weeks time or 3 weeks time, we'll be back. Look out for our flyers, look out for the adverts, look out for the noise, and continue on living life and enjoying yourself. We're out.
Quick announcement before we get out. Tuesday, October 30th, we're gonna have a lady that's running for office in PG County in the studio.
Falari.
Yes, she's gonna be here. Please tune in. Don't forget, December 8th, ABL Christmas party. A lot of surprises. It's gonna be great. So thank you.
And please go out and vote.
Yes, sir.
Early vote.
Vote to.
We need to get